Well, hello there guys and girls. Welcome to another update on the Citroen BX. As you can see, there's still no engine inside there, but I do have a replacement one for it. That's the original engine over here, and this is the replacement. This engine was sold to me as a what is it, a 1769cc engine, so it's the same size as that one. Though it looks bigger to me, I don't know. That's what it was sold to me as anyway. I don't know if there's any way to tell if there is a way of checking what cc these engines are. The block looks bigger to me. I don't know. I don't know if it is, but it looks bigger to me. Yeah, I ain't fussed. Slightly bigger engine doesn't bother me that much. Anyway, when I got this engine, it was a complete running engine. I actually saw in the car it running. I went to the car and started it up before this engine come out of it, and it came with a gearbox. There you go, it's down there somewhere. Haloed light. Pull that out of one of the skips here where I work, as I do work in a scrapyard. Wired it up and I've got it, although it makes a kick-ass inspection lamp. Yes, it's got a Bosch pump with it, which is quite nice. Looks to be in fairly good condition too. It's quite clean. It just say Bosch on it here, so it is a Bosch pump. Obviously it's got the Bosch injectors as well, which are taped up to keep them safe, stop any dust and crap dropping in them. I do want to jet wash this engine, get all this crap off it, and I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint it red with engine enamel, so it should look quite nice when it's done. I've got to do some more seals on it. The seals on the crankshaft, for instance, down here, that one's leaking. The one on this side looks okay, but for what it takes, I've already got the pulleys off it, so I may as well change it around. It's quite nice, like I say. I heard it running. Could do with going and fetching my torch. Let me go and fetch my torch. In the yard today. My little office area here. All of this is what you see came from scrap, so yeah, which torch shall we use? First one I can put my hands on. They're both in here somewhere. And that one's got no bloody batteries in it. Yeah. It's that dim, my bloody things decided to come on. Camera on my the light on my camera. Right, you'll like this, guys and girls. Now this engine had an EGR on it and this one doesn't, so we just have a look in here, and let's say there's some sticks and stuff in there because it's been open to the atmosphere for quite a while. You can see in there that it's actually quite clean. It's not bad. There's some oil residue in there, but you want to see the creme de la creme. Try not to make the engine fall over. It won't fall over that far because it's got still got the thing on it. Right. Okay, which ones are the exhaust ports and which ones are the air intakes? There you go. This is cylinder 1 air intake, and just look at that build up on that valve in there. Let me see if I can zoom into that. Oh yeah, if I move the light around you might get there. Look at that. Look. Stop focusing on things that doesn't matter. Yeah, that's a lovely EGR build up there on the valves. Damn it, focus. That's autofocus on this camera. It just doesn't ever focus on what you want it to see. There you go. Yeah, that's cylinder number 3. Got cylinder number 4 down there somewhere. Yeah, there. Look at the state of that. Whenever we get a scrap car coming, I'm going to drain some petrol out of it and just sit it in the valves for a bit. Hopefully that will yeah, you can fix if you want, camera. Hopefully that will fix the problem that it's got. Where's the intake manifold? Oh, here you go. You have a look in there, look. Ooh, icky. Yeah. That's some gross stuff in there. The ports themselves are not that bad, to be fair, but oh, up inside them they're pretty bad. So yeah, that's all because of this happy fellow here, this little bit of piping, the EGR, which had actually failed on this engine. The EGR had failed and stuck open on this engine. And where is the exhaust manifold? Where has it disappeared to? It's on this trolley over here. I'm treading on everything. No, that's the thing for the turbo. Turbo on this engine wasn't that bad. It's not got much play in it, a little bit. But the EGR is stuck. It won't actuate at all. And yeah, what was I going to show you on here again? Oh yeah, the turbo. Let me wedge this torch under my chin. There we go. Now, on a turbo, you've got a thing called a wastegate. And the whole idea of the wastegate is to stop the turbo over boosting. So what you'll do is you'll set the pressure either with a boost controller or just with the stock factory spring, or you can set it using this here. And the wastegate's job is to, like I say, control boost pressure. Now, I'm not sure what this is set to, but it's probably set to something like 15 psi or something. And what that will do at that pressure is, as soon as it hits that pressure, this wastegate will open and let the turbo bleed off excess pressure to the exhaust port. I think that's how it works anyway. Well, it bleeds it off somewhere anyway. Back round to the turbo, I think, if I remember rightly. I can't remember now. And this should be nice and free, but as you can see, it's seized solid. In fact, it was in this position, but I kept hitting it with my ratchet to try and free it up. And it eventually did free. But as you can see, it's pretty stuck. Yeah, like I say, that should move freely, but it's seized solid. It was seized in the closed position, which makes you think that the engine's been over boosting, but keep in mind the EGR valve was solidly open all the time. So all the excess pressure the turbo was making was just bleeding straight through the EGR valve, and then just going straight into the exhaust. So yeah, that was a bit sucky, because this engine obviously was severely lacking on power, and I bet it was smoking like crazy as well. So yeah, it probably had the same amount of power as a naturally aspirated, or very close to naturally aspirated diesel engine of the same size. But yeah, a bit sad really, but oh well. It is a service item on most cars actually, the EGR valve. And like I say, it's been like it for so long. The turbo's never had to bleed off excess pressure via the wastegate, so the wastegate's never had to actuate. So the wastegate's just locked solid in the position, you know, in the closed position all the time. So yeah, I mean, you could free it up and get it working again, no problem at all. Blank off the EGR. Beautiful thing is with this car is it's old enough to not need an EGR. With it being a G-Wedge, which is a 1990, it doesn't need an EGR on it, which is nice, because it won't have an EGR. It's going to be getting that manifold there on it, which is not got an EGR. I mean, I was thinking of upgrading the turbo and sticking a VNT or variable vane turbo. A variable vane doesn't use a wastegate system. The actual vanes inside the turbo open and close, they alter pitch. Not on the spindle itself, but actually controlling air, directing it into the spindle. They open and close like little, I don't know, they're a bit like an iris on a camera, the way they open and close. Same kind of movement. If you've ever watched Stargate, you know, and Stargate SG-1, you've seen the iris on the gate itself. It opens and closes by turning around. That's the same way a variable vane turbo works. Only thing is the wastegate actuator is pretty much connected to that instead, and it doesn't have a wastegate. Much more nice way of doing it, and you don't bleed off excess pressure. The turbo, because it can vary itself, even right the way down to near tick over, it can pretty much almost be boosting. They are very, very good turbos, and that's the reason why I want one, just because they're more efficient than this old-fashioned style. And they also make a nice sound when you come off the accelerator pedal, but shh, I didn't tell you that. But yes, that is something I would like to do. Maybe I'll get a chance. I hope so. Damn EGR valve. See, if this were mine, I'd just unbolt it from here and just stick a blanking plate in that, if I can get those bolts out. Oh, it looks like it's got a cracked manifold anyway. Oh, it has got a cracked manifold. There you go, there's a crack in that manifold. You could grind it out and put a weld in there, I suppose, but it'd probably go again. It's cast iron at the end of the day. Yeah, whatever. Like I say, all the manifolds and stuff off this one, which I know are good, are going to come off that and go on the new one. The new engine. Yeah, oh, the clutch. For saying this engine had done quite a few miles, I can't remember now, but it done quite a few. More than what that one's done. That one's 71,000 miles. And this one had done a bit more. And the clutch itself was pretty good, which makes me think it's been changed at some point. I mean, I'm not going to use this clutch because I've got a whole new clutch kit, but you can see there's plenty of meat left on the bone on that particular clutch. It's actually in pretty good condition. It's still shiny and clean. That's there. Obviously, there is the clutch plate. You know, the spring plate. Yeah, and that's the vacuum pump from off the old engine. I have got to swap, or should I say, find a replacement camshaft for this, because it doesn't have the right pulley on the end, so you can't put a pulley on the end. This one here, it has a pulley, as you can see, which goes on the end of that, and it will, and you put a pulley on the end, and here on this bracket you have a nice hydraulic pump which makes your suspension work, bolted to the gearbox. Obviously on this particular engine that is missing, so I'm going to get I'm actually going to get a 1.9 naturally aspirated camshaft for this, obviously because with it being a naturally aspirated camshaft, the valve lobes, I assume, I don't know the science, you know, the technicals, but I assume that the lobes would be slightly longer than it being a standard, than it being a turbo camshaft, for instance. So you can see on this camshaft here that's quite broken, which is why this engine was taken out. The lobe here, the distance between the shaft itself and the tip of the lobe would be greater on the naturally aspirated camshaft than the turboed camshaft. It's all for airflow mostly. I mean, I could have got away with just replacing the cylinder head on this, or even just replacing the camshaft, and it probably would have turned into another running engine, and it's probably something I will do, you know. Over time I'll probably do that. I'll keep this engine either for spares or, like I say, to rebuild back up again, and it'll be nice to have a fully working spare engine, just in case, you know. If the timing belt does ever go again, which I bloody hope it doesn't, yeah, it should be okay. So that gearbox has got to come off and go onto this engine. Pretty much everything you see on that engine has got to come off there and go onto this engine, because it's all lower miles than this engine. So that's what's going to have to happen. All the pipe work and things. And that should be it. I did break quite a few pipes on this engine, sadly. They do split, which is a shame as you pull them off. But I'm not that fussed. Anyway, I should probably get going and do some more work. I've got my homemade compressor over there, which I do plan on rewiring at some point. It's got some nice wiring happen there. It was okay for home use, but obviously with it being in the workplace, it needs to be a bit more beefy. And I'll have to put a nice little cover around it, which I'll do at some point. Yeah, and I got the bracket there for the Bosch pump and whatnot, cam pulley. But yes, that is about it. So I will, guess I'll catch you on the next video. Everyone be safe and peace out. Bye for now.